Okay, guys, this is so exciting. We're putting the global in global wellness conversations today because we are sitting in Cascais. Somebody pronounce it, please.
Cascais.
Cascais, Portugal, on the ocean. I feel like crying. In a beautiful hotel called the Farol.
Farol Design Hotel.
Oh my gosh. And I can't even believe I'm here and I'm with someone that you guys need to know. Anna Beatrice. You know why I'm talking to you, Anna? Because not only are you a pioneer in the wellness space in the hospitality in Portugal, but you're also a Global Wellness Institute ambassador. First, you're an ambassador, and secondly, you're part of the Sound Healing Initiative.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity. So tell me, first of all, why does your bio say that hospitality is in your DNA? How come?
So this started with a profound knowing by myself that the inner development is really the thing. And what I did was I love hospitality, and I starting my inner development, and then when I starting to think to create ABC Lectury Hospitality,
which is your company.
That is my company. I said, I'm gonna join these two worlds. And why? Because through hospitality, we could invite and bring so many people for this wellness and well-being path.
Yeah, you could direct them. You can get the most out of it. Now, you know, the wellness tourism segment of the global wellness economy is something like 430 billion in value. But it's very few times that someone with your education jumps in and tries to guide people. I mean, you majored in tourism at the University of Lisbon. Tell me if I'm right about this. You went to the hotel school in Lisbon, and you even went to a graduate program at Cornell in finance. But without finance, there's no business, right?
True.
So 436 billion is the value of the wellness tourism segment of the global wellness economy. What gets you excited about wellness tourism's potential?
For me is the high purpose to impact the human impact that you're gonna have in all the community, because it's not just on the guest, it's also in the partnership, the suppliers, the team, and everyone, and then the huge impact on the return on investment. Because when we designed the concept of this kind of hotel that is really, really
rooted in wellness?
In wellness, where the wellness is the asset, where we want on every journey client a little impact. For instance, if on the turn down, beside you have just a cake or something, why you don't have a sleepy ritual design with someone that knows how to do it? You can invite this guest to a different journey and to help him to know the steps that he must do before he gets sleep.
To get the good sleep. And especially, I've been at this hotel now for one day and I've seen so many international guests. And sleep is an issue for people that live in the same time zone, let alone someone who's flying internationally. And last night I thought, why didn't I bring some sleep secrets with me? What am I staring at the wall for? So you're right. It starts with basics like sleep. Yeah. Also, what is the reaction when you present these ideas? I see you're speaking at different conferences and that sort of thing. What has been the reaction of you saying, put wellness in the root, the foundation of what you're doing? What are people saying?
Normally, it's not the impact. It's not obvious, because many people don't understand what is really wellness and well-being hospitality.
Right.
And this is something that we really, from 10 years to now, always spread this importance of hospitality.
10 years?
10 years on this road, on
you
ABC
are
Hospitality.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. 10 years on this wellness hospitality, but much more in hospitality, because I started with 22 years old as a hotel manager. But just let you tell that the first is because they don't understand it's not they get inspired, but then how to do it. So this is why I believe that the purpose of Global Wellness Institute are so important, because bring us all together and to get understand with studies, with the financial numbers, with everything that you have, and we can get it on Global Wellness Institute, help a lot the people to understand why wellness is the asset of a business.
Yeah, and why it can be profitable. It's not just good for you, but it's profitable.
It's not the high purpose that you really gonna impact, but also you're gonna have the return on your investment, and you're gonna have revenues that you never think that you can get.
That's so promising, because a lot of people, like when they try to follow sustainability, they might have high lofty goals, but we call it in America value engineer those features. Oh, that costs too much. It costs too much to make it LEED certified. It costs too much to never do single-use plastic. And so they give up.
Yeah.
But to prove financially that it puts money on the bottom line, there's a motivator.
Yeah.
Because hotels are a business in the end, right? Okay, I am so thrilled. And I just want to compliment you on your English. I've been studying Portuguese. I can't even say Cascais. I can't even do that. You are doing whole sentences, paragraphs. I'm so impressed. And thank you for your accent, because you're proof, Anna, that we're a global institute.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So speaking of which, how did you find the Global Wellness Institute and the summit? How did you come across them?
So in our team work, my brand and marketing manager, because we do many search, and she just find Global Wellness Institute, and she told like this: Anna, we must be part of Global Wellness Institute, because what we are doing in Portugal, the world are doing. So this is just the confirmation that the path is right. And this is why really we became to be part of this, because as a pioneer, you stay alone many times there.
It's lonely.
And we stay, ABC Hospitality, alone on Portugal, on just tell you, wellness is the way, wellness is the way, wellness is the way.
Yeah.
And then with this decision, we be part of this really big world and huge community.
Well, let me tell you, you're so smart, because just for the past 3 years, they've done a global wellness real estate symposium in New York, and I have seen it grow. I mean, it started out as people in the know, and now it's so electric. And all these investment, JP Morgan Chase, all these venture capital firms, they're all about, you got to build a housing community with wellness features woven in, but they all include hotels.
True.
So you are joining a family. Now, what's it been like to be an ambassador? That's two separate things. You have two roles at the Institute. You're an ambassador and you're on an initiative. So what's the difference between those two?
For me, being ambassador is spread the word, wellness, well-being, and everything. And in each contract that we do, wherever it is, we spread these words, and even this mission that I'm now talking to Portugal. And for me, Portugal is really a wellness destiny.
For me too. I feel the same exact way.
We need Global Wellness Day. We need Global Wellness here in Portugal more and more and more. Uh-huh. And really, for me, is being an ambassador is an honor, because it's the way that we have to give what we believe. And I really believe on that.
And I don't think, we just talked about it at dinner last night, I don't think people realize that Portugal only has 11 million people. That's like half the population of the, urban sprawl of Los Angeles. Yeah. So that's a whole entire country. And, nature smiles on you with your beautiful seacoast and your cork trees. We'll talk about those more. But it makes sense to be wellness oriented. What are you doing with the initiative, the sound healing? What are you doing with them?
So with the sound healing, it was we starting this with Susan Logan, because we were trying to get here a project hospitality with the sound healing, but and then we started to talk about this. And the curiosity is that we, along our paths in this ABC Lectury Hospitality, we get together a community. And which community? The facilitators, all the people that work on wellness in Portugal. And so one of them is my brother, that is one of he's doing ecstatic dance.
Is that amazing?
It's really amazing.
He probably looks fabulous if he's doing
Because
ecstatic dance.
we really with the wave of ecstatic dance, with just music and listen music and be guide for that.
Respond to it.
It's a medicine. It's a way of meditation. And at the same time, when you are sing, because everyone knows, everyone can sing, and sing is medicine as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this, and at the same time, music is present in many places in the hospitality. When we do journey of hospitality, on the breakfast, you must have kind of music.
Oh my gosh.
On the dinner, you have another kind of... So, music is really one of our tools.
Yeah.
And this is why we are also an initiative on the sound healing.
And tomorrow, this is not the summit or the institute, but it's their friend Global Wellness Day.
Yeah.
The hotel we're in, Farol. Say it in Portuguese, please. Pronounce the name of this
The
hotel.
Farol Design Hotel.
Farol Design Hotel. That means lighthouse for all you people listening. But we're going to have a sound healing class and a yoga class, right?
So we're going to have, first a yoga class and then a sound healing class.
Okay. Well, it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask you too is, why do you think... well, how do you say wellness in Portuguese? It's very, very important that we learn it.
Bem-estar.
Bem-estar. B-E-N.
M.
B-E-M.
Then.
E-S-T-A-R.
Perfectly.
Being good. That means being good. Notice how much Portuguese I understand. Okay, that's it. Being good, being well.
Being well.
So it's well-being, basically,
It's well-being.
is what you're saying. Okay, so all around the world, people are interested in feeling better. So just to wrap up, we really want to encourage you. Thank you for carrying the flag. Because sometimes, when we sit in LA, New York, Miami, and we're doing all these things, we think, is anybody listening? Is anybody out there? So thank you for carrying the flag and educating people. But what has living in Portugal taught you about wellness? Why do you think? You said, you didn't answer me, that hotels are in your DNA. Your mama was a hotel manager, right?
The first woman hotel manager in Portugal.
Oh, I love that. And say how you say mother in Portugal. My favorite. Mãe. Isn't that, there's so much yearning in that. Mãe and pai, right?
Yeah.
So your mama was in hospitality and you grew up around it.
I born from the first woman hotel manager. This is true. And I born on one of the first resorts very known in south of Portugal, in Algarve.
What was the name of it?
That is Aldeia das Esteias.
Okay, I can't say that.
So in Aldeia das Esteias, that means like it's a community, like a resort. And with 11 years old, I told my mom, I want to become a hotel manager. And she told me like, no way. First, like it's too
hard, too many things.
But yes, I just followed her steps and do all my path. And when 22 years old, I was a hotel manager.
So without wellness, you were doing it.
Without wellness,
And
became after when I starting to think that bring a consultant company completely different, like a platform of talents. That's the way that I speak about my company, and I want to bring also the good hospitality, luxury hospitality, but the wellness and well-being as the core of the hotel. And this is why
Was it because you're into fitness, or is it because you're Portuguese? Do you think wellness is an innate part of the country?
For me, what the drive for this was my example. Then when I starting to do this well-being works, too many things, ecstatic dance, yogas, healing, meditation, so many things, I understand that this is the path. And then I bring this with all the community to really do it in a hotel, because as I told you, we can do many things in a hotel. Not just have a spa
Right. Much
as a
beyond
outlet,
that.
much more than that. We don't need a spa to do wellness hospitality.
That's radical, Anna. I love that.
But it's true. This is what I really believe. I don't need a spa to do wellness in a hotel. There is many ways on the journey that I can impact really a person and to do different. Of course, if I have a wellness center, because I like to this word, wellness center.
I do too. Yeah.
Where I can have activities and of course that everyone is looking for, but this can be a complementary on this journey that we starting to do on the first time that we receive the guest on
When
that.
you say hello, in fact, years ago we used to tell clients, because I have, a wellness PR firm, we would say, remember, the entire hotel should be a spa. It should be a healing experience when you come to rejuvenate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we talk about really many spas, and of course is very important, but it's not an outlet. It's part of the hotel. Normally everyone works like, this is an outlet and this is the hotel.
Yeah.
This is completely wrong.
Silos is what we call
No,
them.
because we need to merge. And this is why we see that the wellness is really accept. It's something that it's a whole, and then let's flow on this.
Let's weave it in. Now, my last question to you is, I read on your LinkedIn where you're involved in a conference in Lisbon in July about AI and hospitality. What do you think the danger is with AI when it comes to implementing wellness? Do you think there is a danger? Do you think it help more than hurt? What do you think?
We need a balance, really, and we need to be very clever. All of us have to be clever to understand that AI can be really, really a good tool for wellness, because we can use many softwares, many that wanna help us. For instance, guide meditation, something that I can talk to a TV in the room, and I want a guide meditation for my
Stress
for my
related.
stress.
Yeah.
And then comes so this is, but we have to be balanced, because on this wellness and take care in hospitality, we need people.
We need to touch each other.
We need touch. We need to be with. So it's very important, and this is one of the most value of Portuguese hospitality. Yes, it's people. And everyone talk about this, about our way that we just welcome everyone. Even the taxi man that don't speak English or French, he gonna welcome like a smile and so on, because hospitality is on DNA, Portuguese.
Oh my gosh. Well, Anna, that could explain why I'm back for a second time to your country. And I'm one of those millions of Americans who wants to move here. So, you must be doing something right. So thank you for being a pioneer.
Thank you.
We're inspired.
Thank you so much.
Okay, everybody, for those of us watching on YouTube, I just want to say Happy Global Wellness Day. This is the day before. We're at June 7th, 2024. And talk about global. I'm sitting at a very special location overlooking the Atlantic Ocean in a hotel that we will talk about in depth, but in Cascais, Portugal, which is a half an hour from Lisbon.
It is.
10 minutes from, Sintra, which is like the medieval walled village, right?
It is.
And it's just close to everything. But but I have to tell you who we're sitting with. We're sitting with the managing director of this boutique, fabulous preferred hotel, Nuno Nunes.
Exactly.
Mr. Nunes, is that your real name?
It is. It is.
All
Sometimes people ask me, because, Nunes, it's usually a name from mainly Spain, but means son of Nuno. So I'm Nuno, son of Nuno.
Okay, well.
It's like Fernandez and things like that, yes.
I see.
It's
Well,
fun.
thanks. It makes it fun.
Yeah.
Now, you come from the world of finance.
Yes, it's true.
And we don't have to guess that that's important to hotels. But I think somehow your finances here at the Farol Hotel are doing very well, because everywhere I look, there's people, and they're from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
What's first of all, we're going to get to Global Wellness Day, but what's unique about this hotel?
The location and a kind of feeling that you cannot explain fully by seeing photos or movies. You need to be here. And we, over the years and since mainly 2014, we have been traveling the world, a little bit stopped with the pandemic, but we've been trying to, with our words and our way of welcoming the guests, trying to pass this to them, and they get the curiosity to see, is it true?
What
and then
you've been saying.
Why Portugal, and now that Portugal is a trend country, let's say like this, they all stop here to see us.
I met a woman who said she comes for work to Lisbon all the time, and she would walk by here, taking her walks by the sea, and she finally said, I have to stay here. Okay, for our listeners, here's what it is. It's a, how many rooms? 34?
33.
33 room hotel set on the edge of the cliffs of Cascais, overlooking the Atlantic. And the town is full of cobblestone streets, old charming houses. My husband and I walked today. We were turning every corner like, what is happening here? And there's beaches everywhere. It really does look like the French Riviera. But anyway, this building is because a mansion dating from the 19th century has been restored. You've had several members of Portuguese aristocracy own it. And the latest was the Count of Cabral.
Yeah.
And in 2002, it became a hotel.
It became an hotel. We built a new wing with the hotel had 15 rooms, and we built a new wing with 2 restaurants, with the meeting room, and more 18 rooms to give the 33.
Yeah. So you and I talked about Cascais is being considered as a wellness destination. And another thing Anna and I talked about is that, Anna Beatrice, we just talked to, that a hotel doesn't need to have a spa to have wellness woven in it. You don't have a spa yet.
No, not yet.
So how would I attain some wellness here?
The spa is a big discussion we have with shareholders and the way we see the wellness, because the location itself, it's a wellness center. I could say that Farol, it's a big wellness center because you have so many spaces. You have the rocks, you have the gardens, and you have nearby beaches. And as I told you yesterday, the city is almost flat, so you can walk around. You can do the activity you want. And then we still can have some sea activities like surf, windsurf,
kayak,
fishing, kayak. You can do a lot of things. And we do wellness by treating the clients or trying to make them feel at home. And it's the best way for you to get in the world of wellness. Of course, we know that it's not only that, it's the food, the drinks. Of course, a spa or a gym would or will help in the future, because most of the people call it wellness, but you know better than me that wellness, it's more than a stage, it's more than well-being, it's a complete package. It includes several things, not just the body or the mind. You live it more than me, and it helps to have people starting by doing the fitness parts, the body, and then looking at this amazing property. And this, I don't know how to call it. It's a ghost, a spirit that you feel when you enter the property, and then suddenly you are becoming more aware of the nature, of the community, and tend to feel part of the wellness, to begin that journey. We have a lot of clients, a lot of guests, not clients, guests that arrived to the hotel very stressed because the flight was late, because I don't know.
Because they're American like me? Yes.
No, not funny fact. The Americans are not so are very demanding in a good way. They are very they pay very attention to the details, but at the same time they just want to feel at home and be well served.
Yeah.
There are other nationalities that they complain for everything. If it is good, if it is not good, if it's warm, if it's cold. The Americans are different in that sense. It's amazing to see that. But we had guests that arrived here stressed, the flight, this and that, I don't like this and that. And they opened the door, the outside balcony, and then they, what was the complaint? Never mind.
They look at the
And
view.
then the next day they are walking the property, they are looking at the rocks, they are making questions about the property. Can I go take a walk, use the bikes? Can I? And suddenly we are, without noticing, a wellness center. People tend to live more relaxed and energized from here.
Well, it's funny. I love that you have a saltwater pool. You know,
Yeah.
everybody knows that water is part of wellness, a
Yeah.
key part of wellness. And you said
Yeah.
to me, well, if we didn't have a saltwater pool, the ocean will put its waves
Yeah,
in there
it's
anyway
true.
in the
It's
winter.
true.
So I took a swim yesterday. My husband said, do you have a gym? And you pointed outside, and he went
Yeah.
on this gorgeous walk. He said there were $1 million mansions everywhere.
It
There
is,
was the
it's true.
seashore.
It's true.
So, you know, it's funny because you said that, you reminded me that Lisbon is a city of 7 hills.
It is.
But
Cascais.
Cascais is flat.
Yeah.
So it's not intimidating to get outside.
It's true.
You feel like you can really get around.
It's true.
So with that in mind, you're doing some things for Global Wellness Day. What are you offering your guests?
We are part of the Global Wellness Day. We are offering yoga classes tomorrow at 9 a.m. In partnership with Corc Yoga. Then we have some healthy snacks to recover. And then at 10:45 we have the sacred sound and voice healing sessions. And then most of the guests will have an healthy, let's say, or a light meal. We hope that the weather is good, so we can do it in the deck over the rocks, which is amazing.
That'll be
So
great.
it's a gift, because unfortunately the weather is not so good. With the wind, we cannot do it outside.
Right.
I'm sad about that, but at the same time, our meeting room is very comfortable.
With
You
a
have the sea
huge
view,
of the sea.
and it's quiet, peaceful, and you can still open the doors, go outside. So we didn't have much about today, because it's the first time we celebrated here in the hotel,
this
which
is
I'm
your
very
first
proud.
Global Wellness Day.
Yes.
Why did you decide to do it, Nunes?
We decided, first of all, I have to thank Edgar, of course, because he told us, I already knew the institute and the organization,
You
and
knew
I
the
was
Global
aware.
Wellness Institute.
Yes,
Good.
because it's a thing. I am general manager since December, but I had a lot of plans, and I was always looking. And as you mentioned, Cascais, it's trying to be a wellness city, so it made sense. So I searched everything, and I was aware that we should do something in this day, and then the planets aligned, and we met Edgar, which he introduced us to you and to the global wellness day, and then for us it was a no-brainer. So and it's a thing that we will keep on doing. We already promote the bikes. Sometimes the clients, it's not so good weather to go this and to this place, but no, but with the bike you feel warm, so don't worry if
Don't
it is
even worry.
wind or something.
You'll be fine.
We always advise the guests to take a walk, because it's
It makes all the difference.
and you clean your mind, because you're always looking at new buildings, new buildings that you don't know, but that, as you told, it's old and houses that have a lot of story to tell. Cascais, it's a city of kings, as you see by the property that was owned by nobility of Portugal. There are a lot of king houses, holidays, vacations, king houses here. The Spanish king,
He would come
now
to
the
Cascais.
ex-Spanish king, Don Juan Carlos, he was here 100 meters from here. Our street is named after the Umberto II of Italy. It's a king also. Supposedly he died here. And even the Portuguese King Dom Luís, he was here for vacations here where we sat today.
And what-
and you see that in Cascais, you still can see that charm of the old, not the old, but of the king and princess town. The city maintains a charm still that you can feel it and you can relax. It's amazing.
But what's so amazing too is discovery. When you want to have a healthy brain, you want to be delighted.
Yeah.
And the thing that really delights us here at this hotel is your artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Your chandeliers are by Marcel Wanders.
Yes.
And you'd have to see them to believe them. It's almost like a pastel candy.
Yeah.
They have material stretched over. You just have to see them to believe them. Look at the pictures. We'll show you. You can go to the website in the show notes. And then who else? Diego Navarre.
Diogo Navarre, it's a Portuguese painter. We found him in 2016. He's amazing. He's a very young guy. Well, because I'm young too. Because he's my age almost. But if you met him, immediately you like him because he's surfer, poet, painter. Always smiling, always kind to, if you are rich, not rich, high, tall, black, white, doesn't matter. He's always kind. And he does a lot of trips around the world, holistic spirituals. He goes to India, Peru, trying to understand also the roots of his family. And that magic and that kindness is visible in the art, because we have so many paints that at least one you will like. So
not more than one. And the room we're sitting in, the gray.
Yeah, it's full of painting. And we also have Herdade Albert, which is she has some sculptures around the property, also Portuguese, and that connection with our roots, with the Portuguese, trying to help. We helped not Herdade because she was already famous, but Diogo was not so known here, and now he cannot see the paintings without Farol, and he cannot see Farol without paintings. He was here. We crossed with Edgar yesterday. He was here changing maybe you didn't notice, but the painting when you arrive at the hotel in the entrance in the reception is not the same. You arrived at 1 o'clock. Yes. So he was. Yes, Lazar was with us. So he was changing the art, and he's always doing that because he sells. Sometimes he said, "Look, I had an inspiration. I designed this. Let me change." Diogo, it's your house, and it's amazing. And we cannot imagine. And the guests. I think without the chandeliers, without the art, we miss 20 or more % of our charm. So we would need to replace with something.
Yes. I mean, you have Marilyn Monroe and Cary Grant on the back of your chairs.
No, Sean Connery.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Yeah, yesterday I had a partner here, a lady from Oleoforte, the amenities. And we went through that door and she said, "It's Sean Connery, Nuno. I have to sit there." But no problem, Daria. No. It's Sean Connery. I have to sit on his lap. So it's amazing.
That's a delight.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, all these things, that being intrigued by whimsy, by design, being delighted by your environment, this all roots back to wellness. But forget all that. I just learned last night or this morning that Christopher Columbus, after his first trip to America, which many of those explorers were looking for the fountain of youth and for treasures. Yeah. And Christopher Columbus landed in the Cascais Bay. Yeah. What? Yeah. Okay. So he had to come clear back around to find the treasure that is Portugal.
Do you know there's a big discussion between Spain, Portugal, and Italy. Portugal and Italy because we both say he's Italian or Portuguese. The Spanish get their remains because he's in Sevilla. But he tells the story that the history in that part is documented. Besides where he supposedly was born in Cuba, Alentejo, in Portugal. But let's leave that controversial part on the side. He started to work for Spain and to find the Americas in the name of Spain because the King of Portugal didn't hire him.
Didn't pay him to go do it.
Because at that moment story says that we already knew Brazil was on that side. And he went to Americas to go to India, where we already had gone. So the king said, no, we don't want nothing with you. Well, in a different and noble way. For sure, it must have been a good conversation between them. But that's why he started to work or to be on the with the flag of Spain in his ships. But yes, the first time he arrived from America, it was to Cascais, to this lovely bay.
That is so crazy. And to think, when I was here the first time in 2021, I was like, why do I know so much about Portugal? Why were they a seafaring giant? And they were. I mean,
we were.
Why else would people be speaking Portuguese in Brazil, the huge South American country,
Africa,
Mozambique, Angola,
India? Now not so much, but still in the beginning of the century, Portuguese was spoken in India, because we had there some cities, and you can see in I think it's Goa and Dio, you can still see Portuguese buildings, ancient Portuguese buildings. Macau, it's another.
Off Hong Kong, by
Macau.
Hong Kong.
It was also still until 1999 a Portuguese
colony.
Territory, not colony anymore.
They
Macau was never a colony, because it's different. But at one moment I think it was in the 15th century, we had half of the world. We divided with Spain. There's a treaty between the two countries that divided the world, split the world in half.
Crazy.
It's amazing.
And this strip of a country with only 11 million people had such influence. So thank you. We're very happy to be exploring Portugal. And we're so proud that Portugal is embracing wellness. So thank you, Nuno. We really appreciate your hospitality and your participation. So I'll see you on the yoga mat tomorrow.
That part I don't know. I will try. I will do my best.
Okay, at least come to the sound healing.
No, for sure I will be here.
See.
I don't know if in my shorts or in my general manager clothes, but for sure I will be here with you.
We'll be on the Portuguese cork mat. We'll be humming together, okay?
Yeah, because it's important for us also.
All right, everybody, here we are at the Global Wellness Conversations on the road, because today we have really had a good time. We started out in, I can say this word, Cascais, at the Farol Hotel, doing yoga by the ocean, and then we did sound bath, we cried, we kicked off Global Wellness Day in the right way. Then we all piled in cars and we drove into the heartland of Portugal called Alentejo. And who am I sitting here with? Can you please introduce yourself, miss? What is your name?
My name is Rita Torres.
Rita Torres,
yes.
But your maiden name?
Yes, it is Sim Sim.
Which
or
means?
Yes, yes.
Rita, yes, Rita CC. And we're also with the managing director, GM of this hotel, whose name is Nuno. CC Nuno. What's happening? But sir, can you tell us your proper name and your title, please?
Yeah. My name is Nuno Almeida Leite. I'm the general manager of Herdade Barrosinha.
Say that slow for American listeners. Herdade.
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 Da Barrosinha.
Barrosinha. And what does that mean?
Well, Barrosinha comes from the clay. Barro means clay in Portuguese.
So the soil was where the clay was made for bricks years ago, right?
Indeed, yeah.
In this area. This
whole area, yeah.
Whole area, which would
even
be like,
even the buildings that you see around at the property were built with bricks made at the property. Yeah.
That's very good. And what's the first word mean? Herdade.
Herdade it's a farm. It's the Portuguese name for farm.
Like a clay
Similar.
farm.
Yeah, clay
But
farm.
now it's
farm.
Yeah. Big
it's
farm.
like an estate, a vineyard,
Yeah.
a mecca, a wellness, natural destination. So why we're here is because we're celebrating nature for Global Wellness Day. And you can't even get more natural than here. We're surrounded by nature in your neighborhood. So tell us, and we'd love you to speak in Portuguese if you would, Rita, and we'll make Nuno translate. So what is Alentejo known for, please?
O Alentejo. O Alentejo é talvez o sítio mais misterioso de Portugal.
I can translate.
Yeah.
The mysterious Portugal.
Yes.
Why?
Porque nós temos tudo numa região que tem uma zona interior com muita tradição, especialmente na gastronomia.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
go ahead.
we have everything, and we are in the region of the deepest Portugal, and we have many things, especially gastronomical things. You know, our gastronomy here is very
World class.
rich.
É a herança de um povo. Nós, no Alentejo, o Alentejo foi abandonado durante muito tempo pelo poder, pelos governantes. Então, aqui as pessoas tiveram que aprender a cozinhar com aquilo que a terra dava.
It's an heritage. So Alentejo, this region, was abandoned by the government. So the government, the central government, forget about this region. So people had to cook the
Natural
things,
food.
natural food and things that the earth and the animals,
The pigs, the
pigs,
cows.
yeah, indeed.
And a base da gastronomia é o azeite, o alho e depois tudo o que se pudesse, o pão e as ervas aromáticas.
So the basic is the bread, the herbs, the olive oil, and the garlic. Yeah.
I'll take that all. Now that is a delicious diet. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay, but what we're forgetting about is one of the most important elements of any meal, and that would be wine.
Yeah.
So, why is your region famous for wine?
For wine? Ok, então, é uma região famosa no vinho, pelo vinho porque o clima permite que tenhamos vinhos de muito boa qualidade. Mas falar de vinhos é mais com o Nuno. O Nuno percebe mais de vinhos do que eu, porque a Herdade da Barrosinha produz vinhos.
So the soil makes the wine production.
The soil and the weather, so all the ingredients to produce great wine. Yeah.
And we want to do a test. What kind of grapes grow best here?
So here, the well-known grape of this region of Peninsula de Setúbal is Muscatel. We produce Muscatel.
We say
It is a
muscatel. Oh,
fortified wine.
wow.
That's the ex-libris of this region.
Well, I must have some at the
Then
end.
we have Cabernet Sauvignon as well. We produce Cabernet Sauvignon, Fernão Pires, and many others, Periquita, many other grapes that we produce among the other properties within this region. But we at the property we have 100 hectares of wine production.
100 hectares,
Yeah.
which is a little less than 100 acres of wine production.
yeah.
But in Alentejo, it's the new, like Napa. It's like, for America, it's like the old-fashioned traditional winemaking, right?
Yeah, the old-fashioned traditional wine.
Okay, so we are going to talk about cork that is so popular here. We talked about it before, but why is cork so romantic in the history of Portugal?
Bem, a cortiça tem propriedades que era possível manter a comida quente nos trabalhadores, os trabalhadores rurais iam trabalhar para o campo e com cortiça mantinham a sua refeição quente. Podiam beber água em cortiça porque a cortiça é antibacteriana e não passavam doenças.
So we have to translate that.
Yeah. So the history behind the cork, the agricultural workers used to use the cork to make the utensils to take the food out to the field, you know?
Oh, because it was
Because
antibacterial.
Antibacterial and
Didn't leak?
no, because it's waterproof. So yeah,
Awesome. And it floats and it's light.
Floats,
it's not
yeah.
too much to
Yeah,
carry.
yeah.
So you're trying to feed the farm workers and you're carrying everything, especially the water, stay clean. In the
water
cork.
and food. Yeah, everything inside.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And I was thinking of it in my wine. So what we said, what about the artisanal culture? So we see pictures of old men in craft shops, like cutting cork and making it into purses and dishes. What about that? Is that still going on now?
Era provavelmente o trabalho mais duro que se fazia e que se faz no Alentejo. Tira-se a cortiça com temperaturas que podem ir acima dos 46, 48 graus.
So the hardest work to do is to harvest the cork, because you can have like 46 Celsius degrees, And
it can
the
be
work is
so hot.
So hot, yeah.
When you're trying to harvest the cork, because it's hot in Alentejo in the summer.
But the those purses and all the things you mentioned, it was in the past and still a cultural thing,
Handed down from generations.
In
fact, we interviewed someone that's a sophisticated hotelier. So was her mother, but her ancestors come from the cork fields in Alentejo. So that's very exciting. So we were here today celebrating nature, and Corc Yoga makes mats out of cork. What are some of the characteristics of cork that make it so, sustainable? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sustentável.
Yeah.
What about it makes it earth friendly?
Because when you take the cork out of the sobreiro, that is the Portuguese name for the tree, for the cork tree, you regenerate the tree.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, so
you
it's
do not hurt the tree at all.
No, you don't hurt the tree at all.
You help it. When you shear it. We call it like shearing a sheep, but it's actually like cracking the shell off.
Yeah.
With
just
axes, they do. Yeah. And then it's what is the word? It's a craft to be able to take the cork and make things, right?
Nas famílias do Alentejo, em especial, todos os pais ensinavam os seus filhos a tirar cortiça, era tradição.
So the Alentejo families, so all the fathers used to teach their children how to take the cork out of the trees.
Yes, father or grandfathers.
Yeah.
So in fancy, modern language, they talk about the supply chain, how important it is.
Yeah.
But when we think of things like a country like Portugal, that's small, and yet this is a history and it's a culture to protect. But it's also good for the earth.
Indeed, yeah.
Do you think most Portuguese appreciate that about cork, or is it's old news? Do you think they...
Não, sim, os portugueses valorizam bastante, até porque os sobreiros já são protegidos e porque... Mas infelizmente há uma grande parte dos portugueses que não sabem que a cortiça se tira mais ou menos de 10 em 10 anos. E por isso é tão importante que quem esteja a tirar a cortiça não vá ferir a árvore para que ela continue a produzir muita cortiça.
So the majority of the Portuguese people, they value the cork.
They're proud of it.
Yeah, but the majority also, they don't realize that the cork, you can take cork out of the tree every 10 years. So, and the way you take the cork out, you need to do in a specific way, not to hurt the tree.
Oh.
So yeah.
And it takes someone with skill and knowledge
and
to
now
do it right.
my personal opinion, apart from the translation, I do think Portuguese people value the cork, and the cork business I think is important for Portugal because we are one of the highest producers of cork. Spain produces, but not a lot.
I think you do 50% of the world's
50%,
cork.
Yeah. So.
I really do. Okay, so we said it before, but that was before we were recording, so I just have to keep repeating my favorite things, that cork forests are climate change fighting champions. They pull 14 million tons of CO2 out of the atmosphere. That's not small. Yeah. And also they're biodiversity hotspots. So the World Wildlife Fund recognizes cork forests the same as the, help me in Africa, the, where do you visit? I have Portuguese names in my head. The safari, the Serengeti. These are places on the planet that we really have to fight to protect because so many species live here and everything. Like the pig, the Iberian pig, the Iberian lynx, the wild cat. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
Did you ever see a wild cat here?
I did.
Do you see them?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope I see one. All right. But now we have to get to the point. We know that cork is here, that cattle, rice, wheat, and wine. Why do we want tourists to come here? Why do you think, because in America, it's always, you come here, you go to Porto, Lisbon, that's it. And maybe the Algarve for the beach. Why should we tell the world about visiting Alentejo?
A região Alentejo tem vindo a crescer na promoção que está a ser feita. O que nós não queremos no Alentejo é que atrair muitos milhares de pessoas ao mesmo tempo. Nós queremos que venham, são muito bem-vindos, mas que venham num número que não seja insuportável para aqueles que já vivem cá.
So the way we are promoting Alentejo, we want that the tourists visit Alentejo, but in a way not on a mass tourism, but to not affect the people that lives here, like
A careful tourism.
careful tourism. In Alentejo, people works very hard. The thing is, because of the heat and with the cork harvest, people start very early at 5 a.m. and then the work goes up to 2 p.m. So
It's like a farm.
Yeah,
it's like a farm. So it makes sense.
That's why it makes sense.
But the good news is it's slow living. The popular slow
pace.
food.
Yeah, slow
Like
pace.
relax, stop. Like don't act like I act. Just relax. It'll happen. Is the mood.
Yeah.
Mas já foi mais, eu acho que já foi mais. Hoje já não se nota tanto. Nós temos a felicidade de viver no Alentejo e termos muito espaço para cada de nós.
Yeah. So we have the happiness to live in Alentejo and have room for everyone, like in between us, like because it's not crowded.
That is good.
It's
That's
not crowded,
appealing. And it must be working because tourism, especially wine tourism, it says in 2023, Alentejo saw a 27% increase in wine tourism visitors from year to year, with 160,000 over visitors in total. And that includes a 50% increase in Portuguese visitors, which I saw in the lobby today.
Yeah.
And then the other 50% are visitors from Brazil, like someone in the room,
Yes.
the US, somebody else, Switzerland, Spain, France, Belgium, the UK, and Canada. So something's working. People are coming here. All right, so let's talk about some of the things you can do. When I checked into the hotel, there was a big family, a grandmother, 2 sisters, and their children. And they looked like they were having a big time. And it was really fun. But what are some of the things you can do in Alentejo?
Aqui pode-se fazer bocadinho de tudo, porque nós temos a diversidade de o Alentejo interior ter as suas atratividades, ter a cultura, o canto alentejano, o artesanato, e depois temos a felicidade também de termos o Alentejo litoral, que tem das melhores praias que podemos encontrar em Portugal, de ter os melhores mariscos.
Okay, so the Alentejo is the diversity is
Wide range?
Yeah, a range. And the interior is known by the cultural things, the cant alentejano, that is a traditional song, traditional way to sing. Yeah.
It's not fado.
No, not
No,
fado,
no,
cant alentejano. Yeah.
What can you describe it?
It's like a
Folk song?
No, it's like folk, but very traditional from this region. Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear
And then
some.
the seaside, this seaside, we have the seafood that is great. All the coast, the Atlantic coast, that is beautiful. So many things.
Well, I read that you can do from this hotel pedestrian tours, which are walking tours, river tours, bikes, kayaking, canoes,
Indeed.
and my favorite, horseback riding. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to take you off the hook, Rita, and I'm going to turn my attention to Nunu and ask, how would you describe this hotel that is beautiful and low to the horizon with much history? It's like an ancient estate, the way I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is appealing to your visitors about it, do you think?
Well, this hotel is a small hotel.
How many rooms? 33?
44 keys.
Oh, 45.
44 keys between rooms, and we do have 7 villas. So, so it is interesting. The first thing and what we want and aim to do is to bring people to identity and to mix amongst the community that is here, because our guests can stay here and can feel can go back in time and feel this property as it was, because there's still people with 90 years old living here that used to work in the property.
So they take care of their people.
Yeah,
you have places for them to live.
That's a sustainable way to see things, and we have a project on the ESG. So to among the external and internal stakeholders to take care of the community and to
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah,
that's the way. Because hotels are landmarks in a community, and normally community members, if it's a good hotel, are very proud of an historic hotel in a community. I read where on your website, this is one reason we came here on Global Wellness Day, Magenta Nature Day, that your hotel is designed to convey a feeling of perfect harmony with nature. That's pretty cool. So what can you see when you look out the window here?
You can see, you can see the cattle from the window. You can see the cork trees. You can see the pine trees and the vineyards. So, and you are in the middle of the state, so the heart of the state. So,
and it's sort of like a village here. I mean, the ruins, or you could say the historical buildings. There used to be a rice packing plant. Feed factories, a primary school, a little cafe, a sawmill, a threshing floor. So you have all those buildings here that are like artifacts.
We do have still, and we have plans to make them have a new life, But before, this used to be like a small village.
It's so crazy. So you're reinvigorating the village. Tell me about the Artist in Residence program, Nuno.
Yeah, so we already have some artists, residents. We have Mitja Hengel, that is very known for his tables and design
furniture
pieces, furniture.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have Frisbees with it's a Belgian brand that is working here. It's ceramics.
Oh, I think I moved one off the table for the microphone.
Yeah,
it was beautiful.
The Frisbee ceramics. So, and we want to have more resident artists. So we want to create like an artist and cultural hub here as well.
So a village of history and art. Now, what is the big installation of cork art that we drove by today?
It's a cork tree. Yeah.
That he turned into like a sculpture or something?
It's kind of, yeah. It's in front of the studio of Mitja.
It is about, 7 feet tall? I mean, it's big.
Indeed, yeah.
It's
about
big.
that, yeah.
It's very exciting. Well, listen, we want to thank you because we're so excited. We think it's completely appropriate to start in the city, the Beverly Hills, the French Riviera of Portugal, and end up in the heartland with authentic people who work hard and welcome just enough tourists, right?
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Do you have a message that you want to share before we close with our audience about coming to Alentejo? What's your message?
No Alentejo, quem nos visitar vai estar muito perto dos grandes centros urbanos, mas vai encontrar uma paz e uma qualidade no seu tempo de férias, de fim de semana, nas suas pausas. Vão encontrar uma qualidade que lhes vai permitir ter pena de ir embora.
So, whoever visits us in Alentejo will spend quality time, not far away from the big towns, from Lisbon, for example. And if they leave, they will miss Alentejo. Something
That's
like
awesome.
This. Yeah.
And it's not that far. It's not even 90 minutes a ride through the countryside. And this comes from the words of a woman who has a degree in tourism from Lisbon and a master's in education. So you're educating the world.
Yes, e tu a acabar o doutoramento, não é?
Yeah.
Doing the doctor.
A doctorate?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, in
please.
education too.
Oh, please. Okay. And Nunu lived a number of years in London.
Indeed,
Sophisticated hotelier, has worked at a lot of hotels.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to people about why coming here to this estate hotel, this historic village, brings them close to nature? Why?
I think that first of all, I think people nowadays, the storytelling is the thing on the experience. So, and this estate and this Alcácer do Sal has many history and story, you know. So they should visit us to see what's behind and who made these walls and who made the history and the stories.
So go back in
Okay.
time,
Yeah.
get rejuvenated, and drink wine, which
Drink
we're going to
wine,
do right
yeah.
now.
Drink
okay?
wine, yeah.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, everyone. We have now come to our final interview in our Global Wellness Conversations on the Road podcast episode. It's celebrating Global Wellness Day. And to wrap things up, we're going to talk to somebody very special, Adelia Ferreira. She will pronounce her last name for us because I'm not rolling my R's right. Adelia is a Global Wellness Day ambassador like me. She's a spa management and operations expert and presently a sound and voice healing expert, which she'll tell us about. Miss Adelia, welcome.
Thank you, Kim, for having me here. And you pronounce my name perfectly. Ferreira. It's wonderful.
Okay, very good. Well, Adelia is coming to us from Porto, one of my most favorite cities in Portugal. It is one that has a river running through it, where the river runs to the ocean, and there's bridges everywhere and wine everywhere. And you have to go. But anyway, Adelia, a week ago, when I looked out from my balcony at the Farol Hotel in Cascais, you waved up at me, and I thought it was the first time we ever laid eyes on each other. But is that true?
Yeah, that's so right that you saw me. I said, oh, I want to hug this woman so much because we met a few years ago. I think around 9 years. I never forget you. We had this wonderful event in Paris with Vladi Kovanik, the Forum Spa. I was there just very, very excited with spa director, Diamond, everything
Yes.
around this topic, because also I was also participating there as a jury at that time. I was very fascinated when I met you, Kim.
Well,
Because
thank you. Well, you can tell me why. 'cause
very
I'm-
inspiring woman, to be honest. Very energy, everything. Your smile, your presence is unforgettable. I
Well,
couldn't
that's so
forget you.
sweet. I was so nervous. We were the only Americans. We had a panel, and I remember saying to everybody, well, hello, we're the only Americans, but just think of us as Canadians, just so they would like us. But it's a spa show in Paris at the Georges V Hotel. And some of the leading spa people in Europe come together. They're small, but mighty and powerful and very, very inspiring, as you said, and I was happy to be a part of it. But at the time, where did you work as a spa director?
Yeah, I was representing the Yateman, one of the best spas and hotel at that time, still also one of the best ones in Portugal and Europe. You should the next time visit this wonderful hotel. And I was there as a spa director, participating in the contest that each year has the diamond that recognize the best performance or best spa director in Europe. So it was very exciting for me at that time. And this is when I was also invited to be part of the Global Wellness Day. And I didn't know exactly what it was all about, but it was so moving for me, the story of Belgium, all the topics about cancer because of my mom. So I was fascinated at that time already that the importance of spreading wellness in my town, in my surrounding. And this is for that reason from then till now, I'm still I'm with goosebumps. I'm with goosebumps at the moment because it was really touching me, this topic around
Spreading
reducing
the
stress.
spreading the word of wellness globally. You mounted events at your hotel. Did you call it the Yeatman? How do you say it?
Yeah, correct. The Yeatman. I held
In Porto, one of the
Yes.
fanciest hotels in Porto. What sort of things did you do there for global
Oh, it
wellness?
was a lot of events. Sometimes 100 people in this Global Wellness Day. So I was inviting from the from the town, so that people could attend to dancing circles. I did a shamanic circle with already singing and drumming, belly dancing, also including also like mental talks and health talks, nutrition, in basic pillars for me. Sorry, pillars that for me are
Pillars, yeah.
very, very, very important, such as nutrition, movement, and for that reason, and sleeping, of course. These three
Yeah.
topics were always there for me. So I improve all the events around these topics, these three topics: body, mind, and spirit. To
And why do you think so many people,
balance.
if you had 100 people way back, I think you said 2014 or 2015, why do you think so many people came to the Global Wellness Day events at your hotel?
Mainly because of the experience at such a wonderful hotel, but mainly that people were already interested in their well-being. I think
Yeah.
every day I found people that more and more after the pandemic, they are willing to know more about their own well-being, health. So
I do too. I totally agree with you, Adelia. I met a woman today who heard that I had a podcast. I'm in Finland right now. And she's like, I want to be a wellness coach. I want to change my career. So you're right. Everyone is being their heads are being turned by it. But you
yeah.
now are not a spa director anymore. You're doing many things consulting. But during our Global Wellness Day celebration in Cascais, um, we started out with an early morning yoga class by the beach, and then you did a unique sound healing class for us, which put my husband straight to sleep. And then you did something that I've never heard. You played the instruments, but you also sang. And my husband said, she has the voice of an angel. So can you kind of describe what happens in one of your sound healing classes?
Yes, of course. I will let you just go back just a little, just to come to the point why I am now doing using the voice as a therapy, using instruments as a therapy, because I've been a therapist for many, many years. At the spa, this was my main role, and I started as a therapist, and this was a passion. And suddenly my passion became my purpose in a certain way. I was so excited to learn more techniques. But of course, my journey also showed me other paths into management, into consultancy. But after the pandemic, I had the time to really to develop my passion. It was all about singing, but I didn't know that behind this whole process, this journey, it began to be a tool for healing. It
Amazing.
started with my mom because due to cancer. And I observed on her, it was her dream too. It was my grandmom too, that all of them, they wanted to be singers. And I thought, why? Why not? I will do singing classes. And it was a compromise for me. And I got to know this wonderful, wonderful tool that is unique for each one of us. For you, Kim, you have your own frequency, your own voice. So this is, I found my uh, grounding form of healing also myself, because normally I was into doing the healing to others. And to me, of course, I did as well, but not in this form, not so deep, because this vibration does a frequency. And then that is why I developed this art. This is a millennial, ancient, very ancient art that we all know. We just need to remember to go back to this form of expression. So this is what had happened. I started to give sound and voice healing sessions, circles, and of course singing and playing some instruments, but mainly also to invite people to connect with themselves also through the voice. And this is what happened in the Global Wellness Day. It was really a fantastic, and thank you so much for your feedback about your experience, also your husband. And it's mainly what you give as an expression, what made you feel this sound session. For me, it's the best way to describe a sound session because it's so individual.
But you know, I'll never forget in music class in school, we would study different instruments, you know, the piano, the violin, whatever. And then the day the teacher said, but the most, I have tea and it keeps rolling. The most unique instrument there is the human voice. And boy, did you prove that to us, Adelia, because, you know, many of us have been in sound classes with all the magical drums and the crystal bowls and all the things. And you had all that, and you had shakers. There are many instruments you had there, but you add that magic of the human voice.
Yes. You know, Kim, the voice is harmonic and it enters in the same frequency as the nature as it sounds. So this is why it's so does so much impact on our body. If we really relate with the 4 elements, if we observe our body as also having these 4 elements, the blood is water. And what does sound and water together? They make a frequency and vibration. So this affects us. This is why you might experience emotion, you might experience so different feelings and recharging, relaxing, so many other things that you can experience in a voice session, and you can actually work on the chakras as well. So you can connect which sound is this person need to each chakra. So you can really get in touch with the energy. This is why it was so fascinating for me as a therapist. I get enthusiastic with this topic because this is what I want to bring to the industry, to hospitality, to wellness, because massage and music, they are so together. This is my main goal as a therapist, was to awake the 5 senses, and the ear, it's so much important. And it's the same in a certain way, it's the same hormone release while you receive a massage. It's the same while you hear music. It's interesting.
Is that true?
Dopamine, serotonin. There's a lot of studies, scientific studies. Dopamine, serotonin, this for oxytocin, and I think there is missing one: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and serotonin.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to remind you is the magic that happened. Not only did we snore and we were so peaceful, we were holding hands and we're like, we all loved each other.
Yeah.
But the next day, or that afternoon, we drove to Alentejo because the theme of Global Wellness Day is nature this year. And we were in the cork forest. We were having yoga classes on the cork yoga mats.
Yes.
Pure, sustainable, antimicrobial, all the things. And they're pieces of trees. So, of course, the sound vibrations would go right through those. But what was so magical to me is that the next morning we all woke up and did it again, and families joined us. What was the name of that hotel? I cannot pronounce it. Can you pronounce in Alentejo the
Herdade de Barrosinha.
See, I can't pronounce that. But it was like a little farm village redone with natural, gorgeous art. And a family with two children joined us just randomly. They saw it was there, so they came. They were reporters. One was with CNN, and they were Portuguese. And the kids were so cute. One was a radio reporter, I think. And they were like maybe 8 and 7 or 9 and 8. I don't know. And they magically melted when they heard the music and your voice. And they rolled over. And then what happened? What were you moved to do with these children during the class?
And it is so interesting that you are pointing this. First, we were on cork mats.
Yes.
So this grounding again, connecting to the nature, for me, it's very, very important. And using the right instruments to the journey. And sometimes it's never the same. The journey that we did in Cascais, in the Farol hotel, was different from Herdade de Barrosinha.
Exactly.
So because there were children there, there were parents there. So the invitation was not to go so deep in the emotions, because you can go more deep to bring up certain emotions in the group. And because the group was different, there was children, and they were so curious and to understand what is happening. And suddenly we did a sound journey together, the three of us. There was the more two kids, and they were joining. I invited them to do the drum, and this was fascinating because the child, it was the first, the girl was the first time she drum. And this is why it's in our in our blood. It's there
In our DNA.
DNA.
She got the tone. She got the beat.
You can remember the tone of the beating heart. So this is one of the beauty of music, also with children. I love this idea that I think every school should have healing sessions with meditation, of course, but music guides them to connect, bond. Even for us adults, it's a way of bond, singing in circle, being together. It's a bond. And this is children with autism. I think there's a lot of studies that the impact of these sounds, what makes, and it was nice with the shakers, and they were interested in doing the shoe. They were trying everything. They were the monochord, they wanted to try everything.
But you did it right in time. You didn't stop. It was in flow. And the kids just, like, instead of we were laying back and with our eyes shut, they rolled over and had to stare at you. And you were like, great. So you engaged and you let them be a part of it. And I always say, when it comes natural to children, it has to be good for you most times, So that was a beautiful thing. Under the fishing nets, out in that nature-filled place that's so full of slow living and breathing the right pace and taking in time. But you also take your sound healing and you work with patients in hospitals. Is that right, Adelia? What do you do?
Patients with cancer. Sometimes I can't bring all these instruments, but I have one instrument that's always with me. It's my voice. And this is what I learn also. It's so interesting because we are so attached to our things. Suddenly, I realize, no, there's no need, because there's my own voice that can bring all the time. Of course, I sometimes combine with healing with my hands and some aromatherapy, that I can feel that this moment this person is willing to receive. Also the transgenerational, the family tree, which is also a tool I developed the last 2 years, really studying a lot the last 2 years. It's a journey also for me. But my mom was my master in this journey of finding my voice, my authenticity through my voice, my truth inside of me. And this is what I want to share with others. And my main patients are women battling the cancer. So I bring them the experience also, patients with amnesia. So there is a moment I sing also fado. not only this authentic way of singing, but I also do fado for them. And it's incredible how it activates the brain, so in the memory. And they can sing with me the full fado. It's incredible how does this
So,
change
so
the
for
mood. So I go to hospitals and to residences but this I do mainly voluntary work.
So for those of people who might not know, fado is the, like you could say, the folk music of Portugal, the longing, the melancholy
Yes.
yearning for the sailors at sea that the women would do on the seashore or whatever. And now it's become a real art form and everyone should hear it. We're going to cut in some music to this episode, but so you sing fado and they remember and sing with you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's
Also.
right. Also they do it, but I use some instruments so they can stay in a very protective place. They get in touch with the relaxation, not only in the spa. Has to come also out for be available for many others that can experience. But yes, to remove sometimes even pain. It is interesting because sometimes it's that you go out of these negative thoughts. Because mainly this my goal for me always was the how can I help in my journey as a therapist or as a sound healer or a voice, using my voice to reduce stress at the moment, because at the moment was or always associated with cancer, mainly
Yes, yep.
the stress that it has to be, but not only with the people who has disease, also the level of stress that we live, and also the addiction in such a form as scrolling the screen, which is so damaged for the brain. So I think this is more and more what I want with the circles, is to invite more and more people together to sing together, find a group to sing together, or to a choral. Even in a church, you can also experience your own voice, because if you like Reiki, if you do a Reiki energy work, imagine this energy work has impact on your body, like your own voice. If you do this energy work, because it's an energy work of a vibration, it has to be with the frequencies, using your own voice.
Well, I think it's something people should really think about. Singing is healing. And if anyone goes to houses of worship, and we sing, and that's when I cry the most. So it really does. And then we love Louis Schwartzberg, who does visuals, but there always has to be music. We've talked to people at Mindstream, but you can see, I'm sure scientific studies, the sound of singing and vibration on cells and how it helps them heal and rejuvenate. So Adelia, we love you so much, and we're so glad you do this. Just to wrap us up, why do you think it was so important to be in the cork forest, to be in nature, to celebrate Global Wellness Day with body movement and sound? Why do you think?
It's really to bring awareness for each person who came, that through sound, through voice, and being in a mat completely natural, that's also being the nature. It's also a good way of improving your level of stress, reducing your stress, mainly to get to know people, of course, to go into a community. Why not? To share ideas, to share thoughts. And to be honest, I had the most beautiful moment with some of the participants, that they open space to open their heart, to speak the truth, because this is what happens in these circles. And with my experience that I observe more and more, that it's a way that people can open, and they can sometimes say, just sharing deep things that we hold, and the music, what does, and the vibration, it just brings up to the surface and allows people to speak their truth. And if we have someone to look and to that we can be authentic, I think
What?
this is my main goal. And if I can contribute to the wellness industry, I'm with open arms. I'm just here in Portugal, trying to elevate the energy of Portugal. I mean, through the voice.
Well, I was there and I can vouch that you did it. And I also have to say that many people who came, because we know Global Wellness Day says it has to be complimentary, it has to inspire you. One day can change your life. I had people that came to those free classes saying, this was so much more than I bargained for. I did not know it would be this full and rich. And at the end, Adelia, you gave a rose to everyone, which was such a beautiful parting gesture. So we figuratively hand a rose to you and a hug and say, thank you for sharing your beautiful voice with us. And we look forward to being in touch. Keep up the good work with Global Wellness Day, my fellow ambassador. Okay?
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to speak with you. And if you would like to also to listen to my music, you can always look for me, because I have launched some songs.
Good. Well, we'll put that link in
Yes.
our show notes, okay? Okay, and how do we say much love to you in Portuguese, please?
Muito amor, muita luz para todos.
Okay,
It's a
very
lot of love and light for everybody.
I love it. Muito luz. Okay.
Muito obrigada, Kim.